We've got Andy Biersack in as our guest head of music today because the new EP, Bleeders, is out now. What can you tell us about it, Andy?
Well, I think the most exciting thing for us is anytime that we get to lean into lifelong influences. And for me in particular, Sondheim, Sweeney Todd, and the totality of the character has been something that's been extremely important to me. Right up there with the bands that I loved or the comic books I loved. This has always been one of my favorite characters. And so to be able to have, I suppose in some ways, the most self-aggrandizing thing of anointing yourself as this character and then making a whole record about it, it was a dream come true. And it's been so fun to see that so far the response has been so positive to something that is so personal.
And the new EP, Bleeders, is actually the first new music on your new record label, Spineform. Are you happy with your new home and record label?
We've been really lucky in our career that, we've been able to be on a number of labels that have really championed us and have had great relationships. So I know that there's a lot of horror stories that exist out there about labels for artists. But having said all that, I don't know that we've ever had a better experience than what we're currently experiencing with Spineform. The reality of having people that are visibly and demonstrably excited about you is something that's new for us. We've kind of always felt in some ways like our fans were the only thing that were keeping us afloat with these labels, because the labels didn't really understand us, but we were popular enough, quote unquote, that, they would allow us to continue making stuff. This is maybe the first time that the label has been such an active participant in coming up with creative ideas and really invested in and excited in the project.
And the video for Bleeders that's been released for quite a while. It's very cinematic. Very obviously Sweeney Todd inspired as well. I take it you're a fan of Sweeney Todd?
I think it was maybe one of the first things that I have a memory of being scared of. And it was the original cast recording. My dad was in musical theater and he went to College Conservatory Music in Cincinnati, where I grew up. And so he loved musicals. And, you try to put together how you remember this thing from when you were really little. And I think what I've put together is my parents must have been going to see a local production and were maybe listening actively to the soundtrack. So I was hearing it a lot. And I remember seeing the back cover with Len Carew and Angela Lansbury and thinking that it was at the same time the coolest thing I've ever seen as well as the scariest thing I'd ever seen. And I just became enamored with it. And so this is now, ostensibly 25 years in the making of me just wanting to do something related to this character. So to have the chance to work with Jensen, the video director, and his whole crew to bring this idea to life, really, it sounds hyperbolic, but it really is a dream come true.
We're talking to Andy Biersack about the brand new EP, Bleeders, and the EP includes a cover from the Stephen Sondheim musical. Was that quite a difficult undertaking, Andy, or were you able to have some fun with your version?
There's very few songs that I've had such a head start in rehearsing like this song. I've been singing it since before my voice dropped, before puberty, around the house. It's always been a dream to do this. What happened was we recorded Bleeders and we were planning all of the sort of stuff around the release of the song. And I texted Jake and I said, what do you think about trying to do a Black Veil Bride's version of this song? And the guys in the band were, familiar with the movie and understood my fandom of this, but maybe didn't have as much of a familiarity with the whole show. But of course, when you're talking about Jake and Jink's theatricality and, larger than life sonics always sort of go hand in hand. So they were completely down. And I can't believe how quickly they turned around this Black Veil Brides meets Sondheim sort of thing. And in fact, we did it so quickly that I live in Florida now. I didn't even have time to fly back to Los Angeles to record it. So I recorded the vocals here in Florida. And it was somehow turned out exactly how we wanted it to turn out.